Hi, I'm here traveling with my mum. I wanted to do a bit of a download on our first day. Our first day, we actually travelled here. We left at, what time did we leave at, Mum, from the airport?
To go where?
Here.
9:20.
Okay, we got on the airport on the plane at 9:20, and then we had a 7-hour flight in Singapore. We did the 7-hour flight, and then we waited for another 7-hour flight. Mum, what was your view on the timing of that flight?
It was too long and exhausting.
Okay, good feedback. That's so true. I'll send a picture of us sitting on the floor, because we actually found that the chairs were really uncomfortable. And being the Australians that we were, we didn't give a damn where we sat. So we sat on the floor. Okay, so we arrived in the hotel about 1 o'clock in Sri Lankan time, and we went straight to our rooms. What was your thought about the first room?
Whose room was it?
Let's go with your room.
My room. It was a disabled room, which I didn't appreciate.
Are you disabled, Mum?
No.
Okay, good feedback. Okay, my room was fine. I really liked it. Maybe I should have had the disabled room, because I actually have 2 knees that need replacing. Hi. So Mum and I came to Sri Lanka on a tour, and it's a Trip a Deal tour, luxury tour. Some things I've got to say about what to expect. Expect that you have to tip, because the wages here are equivalent to $160 to $180 a month. That's right, a month. The people here are not very well off, and the infrastructure is quite limited. But have a look at where we are staying. We are about 20 minutes from a safari where you can go and see wild elephants. The fish is day 2. Day 3, you travel in a bus for about a couple hours, maybe a few hours. You don't go far in Sri Lanka because it's very slow going. And we went through different villages, and they actually call them kingdoms, not villages. So we went through different kingdoms, and we drove along. It was actually good to see. I don't want to stop, but it was good to see. Mum.
Party going on.
Yeah, there's a party going on here. Mum, question I've got is, how did day 3, which was the bus, go for you? There's our friends over there. Oh, you can't see them. There they are.
The bus trip itself was good. We left around 9:30 and arrived at our hotel at 3 o'clock. But in between that, we had lunch, and it was at a place where there was no air conditioning, and we pre-ordered, but that didn't take effect. And a lot of people had diabetes, which they needed to eat earlier. It was quite stressful, and we were hot and irritable. That's all.
That's true. Now, the pricing of each meal was about $10, and it was Western food that we got off with, that was out on offer. I can give you a tip. Western food is not like Australian Western food. This is a Singalenese or a Sri Lankan background. That's where their strengths are. So it's okay. It's food, and it's fine. But yes, it was exceptionally hot. We had one lady, her alarm went off, a diabetes alarm went off, and she was very, very close to glycemic breakdown. So that was actually quite traumatic. Think about that when you are diabetic and traveling, and also think about how you keep your insulin cold. Many a times, daily, when we are traveling, my mum has to ask for ice. They do not have Ziploc bags to put your ice in. It will melt everywhere. And it becomes an inconsistent cooling source. So think about how you're going to keep your insulin cold, because then the medical needs of a diabetic are not thought about here. Medicine is different here. Yes, they do have medical, but it's not on the same level as Australia. So consider that when you are traveling. Now, you can actually do a dinner demonstration. The dinner demonstration is $110. Apparently you go there and you cook your dinner, and then you can actually take that dinner home to eat. So $110 Australian, that is. Tonight's meal, we can choose to have the buffet. The buffet is about 38 Australian dollars. The first time we had buffet was in our first night. What did you think about that buffet for dinner? For breakfast, it was beautiful, but for dinner, Mum, the first night, which was in Nocolombo.
For dinner, it was very poor. It's a lot of leftovers plus fresh salads. The juices were poor. They weren't really juices. I would not recommend it ever again. And some people had to beg them to put the buffet on that night and guarantee there was 30 people. For what, I don't know, because the meal was disgusting.
Interesting. Well, we all have our things, and I can say personally, luckily I wasn't hungry that night because I didn't think it was very nice. And as you know, we are in a Sri Lankan country, so they are not very good at Western foods. So I can say that I didn't touch those salads because they just, no, I'm a bit fussy, but actually I'm not fussy.
Oh.
But yeah, I don't think I'd go for that. Tonight, they're offering another buffet. It is a different hotel though, so there is a possibility that the buffet might be good. I'm not sure whether I'm up for this. I'm actually really good at eating curries, but I've had to take a break today because I was worried about a situation.